late. Firstly, I want to get, move on. We're going to move. Oh, yeah. We are live on air. Thank you so much. Thank you. It's the prodigious, it's the prominent professor at Proclamation News and Governance. PNG, thank you for tuning in. I've had a couple of days away, a few technical errors. I've had a few issues, and we're over it. We're over. It's the coronavirus. There's a lot of stress going for a lot of families, a lot of depression. We've got to get through it together. We've got to fight through this pandemic lockdown. We've got Christmas around the corner. We've got a lot of stress on our plate. Some of us in more different situations than others, being furloughed off work, left, right, and back. We want to get back to reality. We want to get back to reality, back to life, back to reality. Absolutely. We're all trying to get out of this pandemic. So I've been away for a few days. I've had a few minor problems, some of them being my academic integrity, but we're going to keep moving on with progression. We're never going to give up. We're going to work on this divine elevation of success. Thank you, time and time again. You'll come through to support the show. It's going to be a very, very good, optimistic kind of show, as always. Always emotive with the audience, trying to interact with people. I'm going to give us a few questions. I don't know if anyone wants to interact. Maybe you might know the answer to the top of your head. You don't want to comment it in the box, but there's a comment section on YouTube. There's a comment section on Castbox. Maybe you want to call in, give me the answers even. So, why do frogs jump? I'll start with questions before we move on, just to make it a bit more interesting for the audience, because I'm going to give away free art giveaways like key rings. It's coming up to Christmas. I want to treat my listeners, my loyal supporters, the ones that come in and support the show. I'm building bigger, better foundation, a great support network, and I want to give the questionnaire and give away a free art souvenir. I've got key rings, I've got ornaments, nice little gifts just to give, just for the sake of giving a present. But you want to be a good son to your mother, or a good daughter to your father, whatever, whichever, whatever. Or maybe you want to give something to your partner. I've got nice art giveaways. So my support, the more support I build, the more questions we answer. And it's going to work like that, basically. I'm going to give away free art giveaways to my loyal supporters that answer the questions in a correct mannerism and respect the show, as I'm part of the aristocracy social elite. Anyway, so here we go. Are you ready? How many miles in width is United Kingdom? I'll give you another 15 seconds. How many miles in width is United Kingdom? You're 10 seconds. I'm going to give you the answer if you don't know the answer. 4, 3. It's 300 miles is the width of United Kingdom. In length, how many miles is United Kingdom? From the bottom of England up to the top of Scotland at the furthest point. How many miles? You're 300 miles width. How many miles length? Give you another 10 seconds. So how many people? 600 miles. 1983, the postmodernism ever. I know this one. This is another one of my always questions because I know the answer. How many prisoners escaped the Great Maze Escape Prison? I'll give you a clue. Two of the prisoners got in the prison with 2 handguns and 1 knife. The guy with a 7-inch blade put one of the screws in a pool of blood on the floor, left them to die. And they all escaped out the corner of the prison, dug a hole and all got out. All prisoners. I almost give you the answer and almost slipped up, very, very nearly slipped up. The IRA prisoners escaped from H Block. How many prisoners? You've got 10 seconds. At the top of my head, I thought it was one more and what the answer is. So luckily, I just checked. I had to check, but I knew it. But two prisoners had handguns, and I knew there's 7-inch blade. You can check that, and it was in the 1983 postmodernism era because that's the year I was born. The same year as Jeremy Corbyn was MP of North London and Margaret Thatcher was the Prime Minister. Anyway, the answer is 38 prisoners escaped the IRA. Is Earth flat or round? We're going to move on. This. I want people trying to interact. You can write in a question thing here. I write here in the question thing. If you guys want to interact, you can. You can write your answer because I'll take your name. You can send me an email. I'll get your post address and I'll give you a gift because I'm a kind-hearted person. I want people to interact. I want people to win something. I'm not doing it because I want to build consumers. I want to build an etiquette experience. We can do a bit of knowledge together. It's good for the mind and it's good to participate. It's good for I'm a nice Christian. I like to think I'm a nice person, nice community stand up person. I want to give something to the people for listening. My hard work, integrity, painting things. I'll give you something. About the goodness of my heart. What was the next question? Is the world round or flat? I'll give you 10 more seconds because I forgot the question. So, is the world round or flat? I'll give you my reasoning why after. I don't just go, yeah, it's that. I'll give you my reason so you want the same understanding. The world is round. Get in a plane, 11, what is it, 11,000 feet, which is 1 mile. 11,000 feet. The world looks flat. The people, see dots of people, dots of houses. The world looks flat. You send a something into Earth, Jupiter, look down, the Earth is round. Just like when you look up the air, you look at the stars or the moon, it's round. It's round. It becomes a satellite, a circle, globe, sphere. Anyway, there's my answer and there's my conclusion to that answer. There's obviously other people in, you look on Wikipedia, these really other intelligent people, but you still got to question their intelligence because not everyone's perfect in their description. Everyone's got their own opinions, their own ideas. I always question people's knowledge, even people in union. You look at journalism, for instance. People write journals without finding, they get quantitative evidence, don't always find qualitative evidence. Quantitative evidence is a pile of sheep jumping on a bandwagon. That's what I like to think quantitative evidence. Qualitative evidence is hard evidence. Visual evidence. Look at that Johnny Depp thing. Everyone jumping bandwagon. Oh, he's a woman beater. But no one's seen the court report. No one's seen the court report. Even the people in the courts can get a court scenario wrong because they've got no visual evidence. Yeah, he's a woman beater because of hearsay. Can someone be a woman beater off hearsay without visual? No. That's bottom line. Simple as that. But that's just you don't want to come with quantitative and qualitative evidence. People do things for money nowadays, unfortunately, and that is the real facts of life. Anyway, let's move. Yeah, no, a couple more questions. Do frogs? Do frogs? No, why do frogs jump? Why do frogs? Why do frogs jump? We've got toads, frogs. Why do they jump? Why do frogs jump? Why don't they walk? Why do frogs jump? Imagine we jumping all day, our legs would be tired. Why do frogs jump? Even as a kid, I didn't jump up and down. Why did you jump up and down? So good about jumping up and down your legs. Well, imagine the damage that's doing to your knee joints. I know frogs and toads, their mechanism different. It's their way of movement. Why? To get away from their prey. To get away from their prey, such as us human beings, us gardeners, step on a toad's head while you're doing the gardening, or with a shovel while you're doing the weeding around the pond or whatever. They jump to get away from their prey. How do snakes move? Do they wiggle? Well, how do snakes move? Do they walk? Well, how do they move? Snakes move. And why do they move in that in that motion. Why do they move in that motion? Why do they move in that motion? I'll give you 10. I'll give you 10 more seconds. How do snakes move? Do they walk? Do they wiggle? And why do they move in that motion? Snakes slither. They slither to. Depends what kind of snake, but you got snake that attack people. They slither to attack their prey, and you got the other snakes that are vegan. Got snakes that are vegan. They're the same, and to get away from their prey, they slither. But there you go. Anyway, moving on to UK politics. Thank you for that first 10. I like to have little 10 minutes, you know, getting to feel one another. So we're on a level playing field of intelligence, if you like, because people come in, they can think, oh, we're just going to some average person show, don't respect the person, we try and discriminate shows. We're also on a level playing field. There's a bit of knowledge here, a bit of understanding of one another, where we're trying to go with the show, we're trying to build a better establishment where we can have a bit of network experience, throw I don't know, a bit of debate, have a bit of a debate, have a few critics involved as well. Not critics aimed at me, but critics aimed at the politics that you see in front of us today. Oh, that's what's going to read in my story. My story. Here we go. I'm going to read you my story. That's what I was on. Jonathan Gullis MP. He outlined this. But I put a story to this. So I'm not going to do it all on my own because you're going to think, how did he get all that information on his own? Because information comes from the inside information. You've got front bench politics. You've got people like myself, backbench, trying to we're trying to build. It's like anything, BT, isn't it? If you work in a building site, you've got a concrete, like you've got concrete, you're floating the concrete off, then you've got guys behind you pouring the concrete in and leveling it out while he floats it off. There's always someone behind each other trying to push it forward. So here we go. Anyway, dear Mr. T. Davy, we are writing to you to following the recent scandalous revelation that despite the national emergency we face with COVID-19, the BBC is continuing to prosecute and harass vulnerable people and families during the lockdown, allowing Capita to continue sending debt collectors to knock on doors during this pandemic is just unjust, unprincipled, and far below what is expected of the British public service broadcaster. This is very, very ironic, shambolic in such times, isn't it? When the pandemic lockdown, you've got debt collectors coming to your door. Well, they can't come in because I don't want to get COVID. Sorry, sir. We're under rules and regulations. High risk COVID. You don't want to be letting people in your house because you get fined. They should be getting fined for entering your house also. Capita bosses, in a letter seen by the Sun, have classed their debt collector services for the BBC as essential. As the client, the BBC should tell Capita that this is the most certainty, not essential. It is also highly irresponsible not to mention a major health risk for Capita employees to enter the homes of people, many of whom are vulnerable in the middle of a major pandemic and could spread the virus. This immoral campaign of prosecuting and harassing the poorest in our society during this unprecedented battle with COVID-19 must stop immediately. We demand an immediate halt in all debt recollection of operations for a minimum the duration of the lockdown. You need more than a minimum duration of lockdown because we're all furloughed off work, or some of us ain't in work yet. You're getting debt coming to the door, putting extra stress on your life. Your immune system is already low. You could get in contact with COVID-19. Otherwise, what's the point of playing COVID-19 rules if this ain't irrelevant? They don't make this irrelevant. There's no point having COVID-19 rules. Simple as that. You got people like other speakers like Piers Morgan and stuff like that. I outline things that need to be justified also. These are inside people. Piers Morgan is not an inside people. He's a news person. Just like me, I'm not as big as Piers Morgan because I'm new to the platform, trying to build my following. Plus, they've got a big business to pay for their subscribers. I haven't. I've got 0 pence, but I'll get there sooner or later. Believe me. But I put a story to this because I'm, I'm well entitled to my voice. I'm in part of the union already. And part of the union is nothing, no one can do about it. I signed up as a member of Conservative. I'm working my way up to a chancellor even. This is horrific. This is my story. Now, Proclamation News and Gavin, this is horrific. The BBC is a shambles. So we get given rules and regulations of COVID-19. Yet BBC can send debt collectors round to old vulnerable people's houses in current climate of global pandemic. Not to mention the elderly are frail and high risk, as we witness more death ratio in elderly statistically, I said. The BBC are still pursuing debt collection, as this statement clearly signifying that BBC are focusing entry to threat of collection of money owed by the elderly. So let's clear things up. We are in a high risk national pandemic lockdown, or we're not. Simple as that. The debt collectors need to be fined by the police by going out of their support bubble and by the sake of breaking the law and by the sake of putting more added stress to vulnerable people, which will pursue an even further distress within their immune system. Debt threats in such a time of COVID-19 when there hasn't been zero help, as we are having a public austerity, or this shouldn't be relevant. Any debt collectors at this current time, climate time, shouldn't be relevant. They shouldn't be going to your door to, put added stress on your life. But according to the BBC, it is. See, I'll send this email to Vicky Ford, Boris Johnson, um, what's his face? Oh, I'll come to me in a minute. Will Quince. Will Quince. I've sent an email to all my. Oh, and Mr. Watling as well. Mr. Watling is a Clacton MP, Colchester MP, Boris Johnson, and Vicky Ford. I believe she's Chelmsford. Yeah, she is Chelmsford. She's the Home Secretary of the Family Court. So I've sent it all to the relevant people. So I want to get that message sorted out. That needs to get sorted badly. So if everyone's supporting these ideas, well, if an MP's put it in writing, they're going to try and pursue something to not be fined. It needs to be spoken about. It needs to be supported. Absolutely. No debt collectors should go into your house. It's absolutely shocking. I look at all the different petitions that are going through Parliament. Not most days. Every now and then I sign a couple. I don't sign them all. I'll tell you what, not many people sign mine. I make loads of them. They're quite good petition. I try to do a petition about supporting LGBT in the Christian church. Why can't they make it equality is normal? I'm a big thing on equalities in life. Equalities on PAYE between feminism and masculinity of us men should be shared equally. Professional boxers should be paid the same, man and woman. Professional football players should be paid the same, man and woman. I don't see why everyone's crying at politicians to fund their children's support funding when you've got professional boxers that earn about £4 million in one fight. Tyson Fury, B. Joe Saunders, can name a few more. Why are they crying at people like that to support our families rather than politicians that don't even earn a million a year? Don't even earn £1 million a year. They may do to get their they may do to do the bit of their own journalism in their meantime as well. But I don't reckon they get a lot of them get £1 million a year. These boxers getting stupid amounts. Same football players, they're £200,000 a week. Why aren't we shouting at them for support? Play half a season. Why can't a football player play half a season for free to fund all these charities in aid of these kind of crises? Why do they need all that? Rashford, 200,000 a week. I don't know how much he earns, but he's in the paper demanding money off the Parliament. We need to support our children, Boris Johnson. To pay 300 billion to support all the family. We'll get all the supporting fanatics that play football for something they love and support all these families and charities. And everyone in the critics, criticising politicians. criticising your football players that you're supporting on a Sunday. So criticise the singers you listen to, perform at the weekend. Criticise your Formula One drivers, people on substantial amounts of money rather than criticising politicians. It's worrying seeing some of the critics. You feel like actually that their mental health that bad. That is it much of a provocation that a politician ain't throwing money left, right, and centre at your need at your every given task. It's shocking. It's shocking to see. I think it's causing that much of a provocation. I'm worried about you turning up at Parliament putting a petrol bomb to the door. It's not a politician's fault. There's so many more rich people in this country than a politician. Believe me. The biggest, the bit. You call them gangsters if you like, but look at footballers, look at singers, look at actors. All the actors in this world that you're sitting there watching on Netflix, earning up. It's Johnny Depp. Look how much he's made over the years, and you're all sitting there calling him number one beater. But next week you go and watch Pirates of the Caribbean. Absolute ludicrous. Some people save the British people, Anthony. That's it, sir. Well said. Anyway, moving on. Jeremy Corbyn. Let's move on to Jeremy Corbyn. We've got quite a bit to get through this afternoon. Sorry there, man. We're going from the news. I'll take some callers shortly. Jeremy Corbyn. Jeremy Corbyn will not return as Labour MP, says Keir Starmer. This is 4 minutes ago. He will not turn as Labour MP, says Sir Keir Starmer. He'll probably turn back as independent. Jeremy Corbyn will not sit as a Labour Party MP in a common circuit, Keir Starmer says. I think it's been a bit rational. It's going to take Jeremy Corbyn out of the party. He's going to make an example of Jeremy Corbyn. But then you've got Tony Blair. Tony Blair has been a million times worse than Jeremy Corbyn. Let me tell you that. Tony Blair has been racist to Muslim culture. I know Jeremy Corbyn's had his bits and pieces, anti-Semitism. He's had his been anti-Semitism. Tony Blair is fascist to Priti Patel's face day in, day out in the House of Parliament. But Sir Keir Starmer, obviously, I don't know if he thinks that's okay, but we see it and we hear it firsthand what Tony Blair's like. And we also see him start a war with Iraq and Iran, which is predominantly Muslim culture. And then he legged it out of England and left us. Could have been at high risk. Could have been at high risk, let me tell you that. Iraq and Iran. My granddad's from Pakistan. Imagine that. Absolute devastation. Blowing up my own family's country, Tony Blair. Thanks a lot, you dumpty. And then he runs out of UK. But Sir Keir Starmer thinks that's acceptable over Jeremy Corbyn. I do not think so. Put our whole United Kingdom under threat. Anyway, moving on. The former leader was reinstated as a member of the party on Tuesday, having been suspended over his response to a human rights watchdog report on anti-Semitism in Labour ranks. But his successor said his remarks had undermined our work in restoring trust within the Jewish community. Sir Keir said he would keep his decision under review. Board of Disputes of British Jews President Mary Van der Zijl. Sir Keir had taken appropriate leadership decisions, saying Mr Corbyn had been shameless and remorseless for what he has put the Jewish community through. But Labour MP Clive Lewis said the new leader's decision with extending self-battering on the issue and was not the right thing to do. I just want to back Sir Keir Starmer. I don't want to keep writing off the left and the right of politics. I'm not going to never write off the right, am I? Because that'd be a stupid thing to do. Put it off my own culture, my own support network. I'm not going to put off the right. So I'm not going to put off the left no more, because at the end of the day, left and right combined, we've got the bird. We've got a bird. We can fly. We can move. We're working together, aren't we? What's the point of me writing off the left all the time? What's the point of me putting down Lib Dems? What's the point of me putting down SNP? I'm going to just try and work through it. So it's like it's going to stay etiquette through and through for the more audience to interact, to feel comfortable that they can talk about their policy agreement without me discriminating them. I'm not a discriminating person, but I don't want to sit here and argue it's blue outside and you're telling me it's dark. I just want to I want the show to run smoothly. So we've got a good understanding of each other. So when we come to debate, we want to debate because I'm being nice, you know. Same as I want you to be with me. I'm going to treat people how I want to be treated. In other words, the Equality and Human Rights Commission (EHRC) published a report last month saying Labour had broken law over its handling of anti-Jewish racism complaints by party members during Corbyn's tenure. Sir Keir, who took over the party in April, said those who think the issue has been exaggerated should be nowhere near the Labour Party. But later, Mr Corbyn released a statement saying the scale of anti-Semitism had been dramatically overstated by his opponents, and he was suspended by the party. Judged Judged on actions. Despite a panel of Labour's ruling body ending the suspension on Tuesday, Sir Keir has taken the decision not reinstate the party whip in the Commons. In a statement, the new leader said, I've made it my mission to root out anti-Semitism from the Labour Party. I know that I'll be judged on my actions, not my words. The disciplinary process does not have the confidence of the Jewish community. That became clear once again yesterday. He added, Jeremy Corbyn's action in response to the EHRC report undermine and set back our work in restoring trust and confidence in our Labour Party's ability to tackle anti-Semitism. In those circumstances, I've taken the decision not to restore the whip of Jeremy Corbyn. I will keep this situation under review. I mean, you can't knock him for trying to fix a problem. We want to imagine you're prime minister and you get given a task by the Queen, perhaps, or you get taken out of your office. The Queen says you've got to try and sort out xenophobia throughout the country. Where'd you start? History of the root of the problem. English people not getting used to immigrants coming over and getting a visa, getting their right to live in the UK. How can we how can we battle people that don't understand equalities? How can you got your normal, traditional, average, traditional, not say normal, your average, normal, traditional UK citizen drinks in a pub. He's racist at every single given, olive skin that walks through the door of the pub just because he's had a drink. How can you how can you counterfeit how can you counterfeit that? I mean, how can you counteract with that? You can't. Some of these people are so fixated in their mind, you can't change their terminology. The amount of trouble I used to get at school because of my mum's skin colour. Absolute amount of trouble. You wouldn't believe it. And I'm never going to turn my back on my own, I would never turn my back on the qualities anyway. I don't think I would. I'm not tuition to be corrupt in any shape or form. But what I do say is though, I don't know if everyone else agrees. They've got their citizenship. I don't want to make it like I'm just being that traditional English person because I'm not. I'm trying to do it for the purpose of the whole dominion that the citizens that are here. The citizens that have got their citizen right for illegal immigrants to overgrow population growth. Same as other countries. If you keep letting so many in, we had 66.6 million people in the UK. Every 10 years, every 10 years that multiplies for birth rate, marriage, birth rate. It goes up by, I don't know, I thought it was about 4 million, but it seems an awful lot in 10 years. I'm pretty sure it is about, yeah, I'm not sure, you have to check. Every 10 years, it goes up a hell of a lot in millions. You have to check it. I'm not 1% sure about checking myself. I'm not going to check because I've got to get on. I like to give you the proper information so we can move ethically in a, you know, forward sense that you think, yeah, I've been justified with his answer. Anyway, moving on. I like to give my views and opinions. You think, oh, as a fascist statement, which is clearly I'm not. Which you've heard every single time on live, every single time live, every single time I get a caller on the phone. London, ULEZ. The historic Essex areas of driving the wrong car could cost you 4,450. 2 seconds. I've got an important thing just to get to. Only 2 seconds. Yeah. London, ULEZ. The historic Essex areas for driving wrong car could cost you £4,550. Whoa. Some areas considered part of Essex by many could face new charges. The London congestion charge has been a common reality for people in the capital for years. A recent adaptation to this charge is Ultra Low Emissions Zone (ULEZ), which came into play last year. As My London reports, this zone is being extended soon. From October the 25th of 2021, the zone will be extended to include everything up the North Circle and down the South Circle. Many places considered by many to be part of Essex, now officially part of London because of boundaries which were redrawn in the 1960s, will be under new charge. It means that if you have an older or more heavily polluting car, you'll be asked to pay an extra charge. The scheme is being brought in to try and bring down the amount of air pollution in the capital. To be exempt from the LEZ charge, petrol cars, vans and minibuses must meet the Euro 4 emissions. Standard and diesels must meet Euro 6. This means the oldest cars that can be driven in central London without paying are roughly a 4-year-old diesel model or a 13-year-old petrol model. The area operates 24 hours, 7 days a week, including weekends except Christmas Day. In total, that works out 4,550 a year if you drive every day. Enfield, Telford Road, and Bowes Road as part of North Circular and are outside of the ULEZ or exited towards central London are inside the zone. Bowes Road is part of North Circular Road and outside the ULEZ. All exits facing central London, including Brownlow Road by the Palmer's Green and Southgate Synagogue and inside the zone. Bowes Road is part of North Circular Road and outside the ULEZ. All exits facing central London, including Palmerston Road and Greens Lane, and the Trinity Bowes Methodist Church are inside the zone. Road, North Circular Road is outside the ULEZ, all facing central London, including the Pimsbrook and Oakthorpe Primary School are inside the zone. Great Cambridge Junction also. North Circular Road, ULEZ, all facing central London, including the Kiln Lane, the Strays and Great Cambridge Road. Off the Great Cambridge Junction are inside the zone. Great Cambridge Road exit north of the zone. Stirling Way is off North Circular outside the ULEZ and all exits facing central London called Ball Lane and Middlesex University. Angel Road is part of the North Circular Road and outside the ULEZ. Silver Street Station is also part of the zone. All exits, including Angel Community Centre delivery service inside the zone. Angel Road is all exits central London, including Tesco's and Parish St Mary with St John are inside the zone. Be aware of the exit with a Condolt Lane roundabout where Meriden Road is inside the ULEZ. Drivers wishing to avoid Walthamstow Avenue is part of North Circle Road outside the ULEZ. Cork Tree Retail Park and its car park outside the zone. All central London, including Costa, are inside the zone. Hansby Reservoir, Walthamstow and North Circle Road outside the ULEZ. B&Q, Trinity Park, Sladsbury Hall, Plainfield and Sladsbury are outside of the zone. Foley Lane roundabout is outside the zone, but the exit is inside the zone. All exits are facing central London, including for Costa and Fairway driving range. Lama Golf Institute are inside the zone. Think first, think safely. Plan your destination to avoid these congestion charges. Walthamstow Billet Avenue is part of North Circle and outside the ULEZ. Crooked Billet Roundabout is outside the zone, but exit facing central London, including for Wadham Gospel Hall, Waltham Park, and Billet Road, are inside the zone. Fairway driving range, Lama Golf Institute is inside the zone. You know what's going to happen. They're going to start charging you to run a car everywhere you go. You can be getting charged just to get in anywhere near the town centre. Wadham Lodge, the North Circle Road is outside the ULZ. All exits facing central London, including for Wadham Lodge and Chapel End, Junior Academy and Infant School, are inside the zone. Wadham Road Roundabout is outside the zone, but the exit towards Living Flames Baptist Church is inside the zone. I think putting people from driving in town centre or city centre is important. You got built up nightclub, you got built up bar area. It stops drug dealers dropping drugs. It stops crime, doesn't it? It stops crime. If people are dropping drugs off in town, it's on camera. They're on foot. You can see who it is. In a car, it stops all the racketeering going in city centres. Don't you agree? I know some people agree to disagree because of their friend, their circle of people. My circle is just me. I'm not worried about people. Southend Road is part of North Circle right outside ULZ and all exits facing central, including Howell Road. Allotments and Thorpe Primary School are inside the zone. The side of the Epping Forest, which lies to the south of the Southend Road, is inside the zone. The Forest Community Centre roundabout is outside the zone, but the exit Hall Road is inside the zone. I went to Thorpe Primary School, but in Thorpe Soken, not in Epping Forest. Waterworks Corner, Southend Road is part of North Circular Road, and outside is the ULEZ, all face in central London, including the Grove, Evangelical Church, St Anne Line, RC Church, and the Grove Hill Hotel, and inside the zone. The Waterworks Corner roundabout is outside the zone, but the exit to the south for Woodford New Road and Forest Road is inside that zone. We're going to move on from that because this goes Redbridge and oh my goodness, even it's Ilford. It's even going to Ilford. They're taking up. You can get congestion charge just going into London, full stop. So if you think about driving to London, basically historic Essex areas, driving the wrong car could cost you 4,550. Just think about the ULEZ, whatever that is, probably something to do with fuel emissions, eco-friendly. I am not up to date with it because I don't own a car at the minute, but check online. Think first, think safely before you plan your destination. Thank you all for tuning in to Proclamation News and Gathering, ladies and gents. Please subscribe, please share the show. It's important. We're trying to. Yes, Bunty, give me a short moment. You can call in, buddy. I'm just I've got about another 20 minutes to do and YouTube. So thankful to have you in. I really appreciate your time, your patience, and if you don't mind, just please give me a short moment. You can call in, Bunty, no problem. Yeah, there we go. Brilliant. How's that brilliant? A vet killed in Clacton crash with a cement mixer lorry as she cycled to work. Wow. It's not brilliant though. Why'd you put brilliant? You wouldn't put brilliant before a death, would you? Would you put brilliant before a death? Who are these journalists? Who are these journalists? Brilliant, a vet killed in Clacton car. I know you say brilliant in a certain tone, but not to a death. My mum's died. Brilliant. You don't say brilliant. It's not brilliant in any term. It's not brilliant as in, oh, brilliant. That's my mum gone. Even in an angry term, you don't say brilliant. It doesn't fit. It does not fit. You do not say brilliant. Vet killed in Clacton. Car crash with cement mixer lorry as she cycled to work. But that shows the academic metropolitan lunatic asylum people that live in Clacton who are writing these articles. Nigel Farage. Yeah, I know he had a big campaign in Clacton. Maybe it was him. It's just ridiculous. Let's call our party Brexit Party or UKIP. That is a winner. You a kip, Nigel? Seems like it. You always a kip. The way you act. And then he's got reform party. She was helping the lady out the morning of her death. She was helping that lady the morning of her death. She was always helping someone else. Sorry to make a joke of this. That's just shock. I was angry at that. Then thinking, who's with this? I'm thinking Jeremy Corbyn, and not Jeremy. No, fine. She was always helping an elderly lady out that morning of her death. She was always helping someone else. Always away. Seen on London roads shortly after a collision. Friends have paid a tribute to a brilliant vet and fantastic cyclist who was killed in a car crash as she cycled to work. On October 7th last year, Suzanne McCann visited a friend in Clacton-on-sea, Essex, and stayed the night. The next morning, the 49-year-old her before 8-foot cycle to Kinford's veterinary centre where she worked. As she cycled along the A133 London Road, she was knocked off her bicycle as she undertook a cement mixer lorry. Emergency service rushed to the collision, but sadly, Suzanne was unable to be saved and was pronounced dead at the scene. Police closed the road at the junction of the old road for a number of hours while they carried out their investigation. Essex Police confirmed nobody has been charged in relation to the fatal collision. At the hearing of Essex Coroner's Court yesterday morning, November 16th, Suzanne's family and friends heard how the lorry driver was unlikely to have seen in the mirrors. Like, yeah, and in that current circumstance, you're angry. It's your mother or your sister. You want someone to go down with murder. You want to blame somebody, but at the same time, these incidents, as horrific they are and tragic they are, that guy is doing his job. The guy is doing his job. Maybe he's slowed down in the middle of the road and then done a maneuver. I don't know. I'm just thinking, you know, trying to think of a logic sense. Why did she get hit by a lorry driver? Maybe he's in the middle of the road, just about to reverse. She's going, on the bike. You go about up. Old lady that age probably doing about 12 mile per hour. I'm guessing, top of my head. And then he stops his car just about to reverse. She's still going. He's going backwards. Then he's crushed. I'm not. I don't know this. No, I don't want to guess. I don't want to put my life in jeopardy for saying the wrong thing either. I'm just trying to visual something, and they're trying to visual. They're trying to visual. How can we get this person back for making this tragic happen? Oh, mistake. They wasn't concentrating or on the phone. They want answers, didn't they? They want answers. It's got to get rid of. I've got an advert come out. It's really bugging me. It's alright. I think I've got it. Got it. Ignore it. Yeah, they want answers. Suzanne's sister, Maureen, and Aunt Teresa attended the hearing via video link, while two of her close friends, Wendy and Avril, attended in person. They heard evidence from PC Howard, who arrived at the scene at 9:45 a.m. I've heard that, PC Howard. While giving evidence, PC Howard explained how he found black polystyrene foam from Suzanne's helmet scattered across the road. He explained how the cycle had suffered minor damage, including scuffs to the handlebars and damage to the bike chain. However, no defects were found with either the lorry or the bicycle. It's right near the fire station. Is that near the fire station? Looks like a fire station in the background. I don't know if it is. But if that is the fire station, I've been knocked off there at a roundabout. He said Suzanne has been wearing proposed design cycling clothing, all with clipping cycling shoes. Miss McCann was carrying a large rucksack on her bag, its oval size with the length of her upper body. The court heard how the rucksack contained clothing for overnight stay at her friend's, along with a torch and other bits and bobs. Suzanne's friend, Avril, said she had a habit of wherever she went, she she had a rucksack with her. P.T. Howard said, with her balance compromised, any attempt to regain stability would have been impeded by the large rucksack of Miss McCann's back. The cyclist's warning sign was filthy dirty. The court heard how the traffic was slow moving at the time of collision when the cement mixer only reaching speeds of 60 miles per hour in a 30 mile per hour limit. Suzanne undertook lorry, squeezing through a just under a metre gap between the curved wheels of the lorry. It was during a manoeuvre that Suzanne was knocked off her bike and pulled off her wheels off the lorry. The lorry came to rest at 20 metres away from Suzanne was hit, and the suggestions were made that it was likely because the driver had hit Suzanne. Shocking news, isn't it? Very, very shocking news. Absorbing for everyone. When Senior Coroner Caroline Beasley Murray asked whether it is possible for the driver did not see Suzanne P.C. Howard respond, it's very possible, yes. P.C. Howard added, there was so little space available that there may have been very little expectation of encountering the cycle. More to the examination was carried out by Dr. Benjamin Swift at Culture Hospital, confirmed that Suzanne died as a result of severe head injuries. All the evidence of Miss Beasley Murray came to the conclusion that Suzanne died as a result of the road traffic collision. Oh, technical issue. Technical issue today. Couple technical issues, gents. Oh, life. What's it all about? Oh, life. It's bigger. It's bigger than news than my religion. Thank you all for tuning in, guys. Please help. Please subscribe. I'm trying to actually build my audience. I want to interact with the guys. I want people to enjoy the show. I want new listeners actually coming in from all over the globe. I'm going to start looking into the router news. Who knows about the router news? World news. The router, US, more US, but there's more. Oh, my computer's really shell things going. Bunny, you still about? You can call in if you're still about, Bunny. I'm going to end the show, ladies and gents. Podbean, thank you all for listening. I was going to try and keep going, just keep talking. Oh, we're still here, we're still here. Sorry about a technical issue, slight technical issue. I think it's going to happen again shortly. Hopefully not. I'm going to keep the show running. Oh, still at 10 minutes. I'll keep the show running. Sorry about, ever so sorry about the technical issue. Happens time and time again sometimes. Baby horror. Baby died after excess force used during forceps delivery caused horror brain injuries. The baby died at Essex Hospital after excessive force used during a forceps delivery caused horror brain injuries. Yeah. Oh my lord. I wanted to see that. Broomfield Hospital. Here we go. Baby died after excess force used during forceps delivery caused horror brain injuries. Absolute horror, ladies and gents. We've got a whole range of news. We've got broadsheet and tabloid newspapers. Where do you think the quantitative and the quality of evidence comes from? Would you say a broadsheet newspaper is more qualitative because it's more in depth, isn't it? More in depth, and then the tabloid is a bit more quantitative. Short. It's always, it's not always adequate sense, is it? Not always. No, they're not looking at the quality of evidence. Not always. They're looking at propaganda, hearsay, which is quantity. They're looking at the sheep. The sheep. They're looking at the sheep, waiting for the critics of the sheep to give them answers. That's what I find with a lot of tabloids. Not always. Not always though. I mean, I think the Sun have made a few hiccups in the past, but the Sun, you can't buy it off the Sun because they're the biggest newspaper sold worldwide. Biggest newspaper sold out of all the broad, even like you include the broadsheet newspaper. I don't think people have got a lot of time to read a broadsheet newspaper. I mean, I read several pages, 3 or 4 pages, but I haven't got the time to sit and read a broadsheet newspaper. You read an hour a day. You read an hour a day, and then it's too much for your mind. Sometimes I can read 2 or 3 hours a day, but do I take 2 or 3 hours worth of information in? No one does. I couldn't tell you all the information we just spoke about today. Jeremy Corbyn, the ULEZ in London, and the vet was driving on the way to work down London Road, got hit by a lorry. It's not, I can't remember every give and take information. Always remember how I introduced myself, the prodigious peasant, the prodigious, the prominent professor, in government. We're actually building our subscribers. Thank you so much. Please support the show. Please come again. Please give us a like. Please give us a voice. Give us your opinion. If you want to get into politics, it's a good way to be part of something. You want to be part of a good community standard. You don't just want to be a nobody. You want to work for it. You want to work for it. You want to prove to your community, good community standard. Look out for others. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I've got a technical issue in mind. I'm going to have to say ever so sorry. I'm going to have to cut the show off, and hopefully I might be back this evening. I'm going to have a recuperate my brain, rest, and not rest, but I've got other things to get on with as well as pursue happiness for you guys. Thank you all so much. Absolutely great listeners from the British and people from abroad. Thank you so much. US, Iran, Iraq, India, wherever you're from on the globe, in the map, you're more than welcome. Globalization is massive impact on all our lives. Doesn't matter where you are in the world. I'm in your life, you're in my life. It doesn't matter if I'm eating rice to taking paracetamol or wearing my Chinese clothing. I love you all. So thank you all for supporting the show. Equality's ethos is the word. Let's stick together. Let's build a better show and better audience. And more people with, a great vision. Have a great vision. A great, you can impact reading. Anyone can be a reader, but it's being a critical thinker within reading that matters. You can see something that the courts are doing wrong. You can see something the courts are making wrong decisions because they ain't got the hard evidence. Happens time and time again. So your voice needs to be heard. If you see something, I'll read court reports. They're going to have visual evidence in the court report of any bruises. What you can do, if you got me done for murder, you want to see a dead body. Doesn't mean I've done the killing now, is it? You want to see the weapon. You want to see fingerprints. You got to think outside the box. You need qualitative evidence and quantitative evidence is not what you want. Thank you all so much. I really appreciate you guys. Come back hopefully this afternoon. Take care. God bless. Working on progression, day in, day out. Speak soon.